I had no idea that Angel Reese didn't even bother to show up, did not show up to support her teammates. It was that unimportant, but yet took a victory lap that you won a championship? You got to be joking.
Angel Reese beating her shit. What y'all gonna say now? Now that I have this unrivaled championship that I didn't even think to attend. She went to LeBron James's youngest son's high school state championship game. If this championship mattered, she would show up. She can afford it.
Listen closely, because I've got a story that's part triumph, part mystery, and part spectacle. Picture this: a championship on the line, a team fighting through the playoffs, and a star player who doesn't even bother to show up.
Angel Reese is a champion in the unrivaled that virtually no one watched. People immediately took to social media and Twitter and started posting, look at what Angel Reese has accomplished. She has a national championship at LSU. She was the rebounding queen of the WNBA. Now she has a championship in the unrivaled, and she's defensive player of the year. Oh, what an accomplishment.
Then, after the confetti falls, that same star celebrates like she just sank the game winner. Sounds wild, right? This is the tale of Angel Reese, a name you might recognize from LSU's national championship run, an emerging star in women's basketball, and someone who, according to media hype, deserves to be called the next big thing.
Angel Reese, 3-on-3, full season highlights. Let's go! This is my MVP, everybody, right here. She didn't win it, but she should have. Bang! Did, however, win Defensive Player of the Year. I would have given it to the rim. Bang! Best plays from the best player on this account only, right here. Bang! Oh yeah, you gotta see this one. This is a personal favorite. Hand-eye coordination, the footwork. Bang! Another fan favorite, wide open. Bang! Greatest to ever get their shot blocked, right here. Bang!
So here's the setup. There's a new 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled. Supposed to be innovative, supposed to spark excitement, something fresh to elevate women's hoops beyond the usual confines. And guess who's on a team in that league? Angel Reese, center stage, front and center of every headline, said to be unstoppable, said to be on the cusp of rewriting the record books. We're told to watch because there's a brand new championship up for grabs, the inaugural crowning event of this so-called next step in women's basketball. Even though some fans are skeptical, who's paying attention to a 3-on-3 league when you already have the WNBA and the NCO? The hype machine keeps rolling, raising curiosity about this new platform.
Angel Reese was a member of the Rose. They won the inaugural Unrivaled championship last night.
I guess if you want to take a victory lap on that, you can. I just don't know if it means anything.
Cue the playoffs. Reese's team, known as the Rose, is in the hunt. They're playing hard. They're pressing forward. Then, in the final 2 games, yes, including the championship, Angel Reese is gone. Poof, absent. Nobody sees her on the bench. Nobody sees her warming up. She's nowhere near the court. Now, plenty of fans assume maybe something serious happened. Maybe she was injured. Maybe it was an urgent family matter. But then comes the surprise. She was spotted attending someone else's championship, a high school state title game for one of LeBron James's sons, while her own team was battling for a trophy in the Unrivaled league. Strange, right? The Rose without Angel surges forward. Players like Chelsea Gray shine, stepping up under those bright lights, pouring everything they have into securing a victory, and they do it. They win. The final buzzer sounds. The Rose stands tall as the first ever Unrivaled champions. It's a moment to celebrate. Maybe the league doesn't boast the same prestige as the NCAA or WNBA, but to the women on that court who put in the work, it's still a sweet taste of success. They can say they earned it. They played the games and came out on top.
How important this championship was to Angel Reese. Angel Reese didn't even attend the game. She was not in the building last night.
That's what champions do. They fight, they sweat, they leave it all out there. But here's where it all gets bizarre.
Oh man, these athletes, they make themselves look worse and worse and worse all the time.
Shortly after, in the midst of the confetti and the adrenaline-soaked celebration, guess who appears? Virtually, that is. Angel Reese, FaceTiming into the locker room party like a celebrity guest who couldn't be bothered to actually show up in person. Imagine if a star like Steph Curry missed Game 7 of the NBA Finals, then hopped on FaceTime to hold the trophy. Absurd, right? You'd question his leadership, his commitment, You'd ask, why didn't he just show up? Yet somehow, in this scenario, media outlets showered Reese with praise. Headlines read, Angel Reese adds another championship to her resume. People on social media posted highlight reels of her play. Reels that, by the way, didn't include the final 2 games she missed. They congratulated her as if she were the reason the Rose triumphed. Some fans even tweeted, what's the haters' excuse now? She's got another championship under her belt.
All of that was more important than being at the location, being with her teammates.
Why is it just women's basketball where we see athletes acting like this?
Another championship, despite the fact she didn't log a single minute in those last 2 playoff battles. That's when the internet exploded. The Twitter sphere ignited, with critics demanding to know how anyone could take a victory lap without actually stepping on the court.
When her team achieved this remarkable accomplishment, Angel Reese was so thrilled, she FaceTimed in press conference and celebration. That's how big this unrivaled championship was.
Some fans accused her of hogging the spotlight, claiming it's an insult to the teammates who actually sacrificed their bodies for this title. Others insisted there's no harm in her celebrating. She was part of the team. It's a messy debate. Does a ring or a trophy even mean anything if you didn't play in the game that sealed it? Cue the comparisons to other big names. People immediately brought up Caitlin Clark, one of the most electric players in women's basketball. Clark's known for bearing shots from midcourt, for single-handedly carrying Iowa to new heights, for being a legitimate phenomenon in the making. She's a walking highlight reel, a player who never hesitates to take the big shot, and she's done all this while consistently showing up, so critics say Caitlin Clark would never skip a championship game.
ESPN covered this championship. Chelsea Gray scored 30-some-odd points last night in the championship game. This championship that Angel Reese has added to her trophy case that she didn't even play in the last 2 games.
They point out that Clark's brand is built on actual performance, not hype. She's a star because the scoreboard says so, not because the headlines want her to be. Then there's Aja Wilson, or Brianna Stewart, or any number of top-tier WNBA talents who've already proven themselves.
Another fan favorite, the touch and finesse. Beautiful. And then her grace. To all my lady listeners, if she can do this, I believe in your chances. Never give up. Never! Again, she is my MVP. I want to reiterate. Best jumper I've ever seen. She leaps out of a gym. The relentless motor on her. She won't stop missing. No one has the drive to miss baskets quite like her. Shot number 2. Bang! One more time. Last one. Bang!
Can you imagine them missing a decisive final and still rushing to Twitter to boast about the victory? Unthinkable. The reason these superstars command respect is because they deliver when it counts. When the lights are brightest and the game is on the line, they're there. Scoring, defending, rebounding, leading. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is FaceTiming her way into a championship. To some, this controversy is comedic. To others, it's frustrating because there's a gnawing question. Is the media so eager to build a new superstar narrative that they're willing to ignore the reality? Are we just seeing inflated hype rather than legitimate greatness? In sports, hype is a powerful thing. The narrative of a new charismatic star can be a huge draw. Sponsors love it. Networks love it. Fans desperate for an icon cling to it. But at a certain point, you have to show something tangible on the court. If you don't, the hype starts to feel hollow.
She thought so much of this championship that she was like, nah, I don't want to diminish the greatness of this championship by attending the game and rooting on my teammates. So I'll FaceTime in. No one wanted a 3-on-3 full-court women's basketball league, and no one paid attention to this. Let's put together a social media campaign and let's pretend like Angel Reese just accomplished something important.
That hollowness is exactly what's fueling the backlash. Angel Reese, with all her promise, might be an incredible talent. She's put up huge numbers in college, racking up double-doubles and pulling down rebounds. She's shown bursts of dominance that should not be dismissed. But in the world of professional basketball, and even in semi-pro or exhibition leagues, image alone can't carry you forever. You need to compete when it matters most. Otherwise, people will say you want the shine without the work. The Rose sure did the work.
because we're going to build up this narrative that Angel Reese is one of the great athletes of our lifetime. She's right there with Steph Curry, and she's right there with LeBron James. She's right there with Kevin Durant. She's got a championship at LSU, and now she has a championship in the Unrivaled League.
Chelsea Gray unleashed a spectacular performance in that final, leading her team to the trophy. They succeeded in an environment that didn't boast the biggest viewership in sports, but it was still their moment, and they earned it. Then Angel Reese appears on Twitter, talking about, what's everyone going to say now? As if she single-handedly silenced the doubters. Well, folks on social media have plenty to say, and a lot of it isn't positive.
Let's go rush to social media and pretend that you care more about the Unrivaled League than Angel Reese does.
Now, there's another dimension to this, the question of how you treat your teammates. Traditionally, when a team wins, you celebrate together, you give props to the people who actually suited up and battled through adversity. You stand by them on the court, you share the hugs and tears and high fives right there in real time. Even if you're injured, you usually appear in some supportive capacity, wearing your team's gear, cheering from the bench, offering moral support. That's how you build chemistry, that's how you respect the game. But skipping it entirely, then phoning it in just doesn't sit well with a lot of fans.
Angel Reese, 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video, but viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. They say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang!
They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages.
Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan, burst!
Of course, some defenders claim that no matter what, she's part of the roster, so the ring is still hers. In formal terms, sure. Technically, players on the roster receive recognition for the championship. The debate isn't whether she's allowed to call herself a champion in some official capacity. The debate is about whether it's right to posture like you were on the front lines of the battle when everyone knows you were watching from your phone.
Don't understand how the WNBA won't have enough money to pay her. I mean, max contract, we're talking about Curry land, we're talking about LeBron. I mean, she brings all the eyeballs. She's so skilled, she does everything perfectly. I mean, she can dunk too. Look at that.
Bang! Netflix, listen to me. If the WNBA won't pay her, you better. Comedy special, man. She's hilarious.
Who else can do the hop, skippity, drop, step, bang better than her?
Bang! Bang!
This story also reveals a lot about how women's basketball is evolving. We're at a time when players like Caitlin Clark are proving that skill and performance can capture national headlines. Attendance for women's games is skyrocketing in certain markets.
After the game, she took to Twitter, posting cryptic messages like, "What y'all gonna say now?" as if she had just silenced her critics. But what exactly was she proving? That a team she wasn't even on the court for could win without her? That FaceTiming into a post-game celebration is now the same as actually competing?
And this championship game was so unimportant. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'll watch from home. I'll watch this stream from home, and I'll FaceTime in if we win.
This league has got to figure out a way to honor Angel Reese in all this. That's right.
Sponsors and networks have realized there's a massive, hungry audience for women's sports. If the competition is compelling and the product is genuine, that's the environment in which we find ourselves.
We have to sit through the fake importance of double-doubles all over again? Question mark? Oh, nobody gets hollow double-doubles like your girl, Angel Reese.
Where the substance of a player's contributions can matter more than in years past. If Angel Reese wants to be the face of that movement, skipping a championship might not be the best foot forward. Still, let's not forget that Angel Reese is young, with plenty of time to shape her legacy.
There are 16 players with a higher point per average than Reese. She led the league in rebounds per game and personal fouls per game. Her points numbers won't translate to the W very well because free throws only count for 1 point.
One misstep or ill-advised moment of celebrating from afar doesn't define an entire career, but it can linger in the public's memory. It can cast doubt on a player's priorities and overshadow their legitimate achievements.
12 rebounds per game, how many of which were her own missed putbacks?
If she wants to transcend the noise and silence the critics for real, she'll need to show up in the WNBA or any other stage she graces and prove she's not all talk.
I mean, you want to grow the game? All right, grow the game. All I'm saying is if you want to play with the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid.
At some point, reality always checks media narrative. If you keep skipping out on the big games, fans eventually notice. They'll shift their attention to players who grind through adversity and deliver breathtaking performances in actual championships. That's how legends are born, by stepping on the court, not by phoning it in.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
Yes, personality matters in sports. Trash talk, bold fashion, and commanding social media presence can draw eyes, but that stuff only carries weight when performance backs it up. In the eyes of many, Angel Reese's brand just took a hit because the performance piece was missing at a crucial time, replaced instead by a phone screen and a boastful tweet.
Most influential female athletes right now: Coco Gauff, 10, Juju Watkins, number 9, Cameron Brent, 8, Paige Beckers, number 7, Sabrina Ionescu, number 6, Asia Wilson. So Asia's not going to be happy either. Jakari Richardson was number 4, Simone Biles number 3 right here. I can't quite get past the fact that Simone Biles is behind Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number 1. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number 1.
So the question lingers, was this unrivaled championship truly meaningless, or was it an honest victory overshadowed by manufactured hype? For the players who competed, I'm sure it meant a lot. For the fans that did tune in, it was a moment worth celebrating. But the big test for Angel Reese is whether she learns from the public reaction. Will she rethink how she presents herself?
Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105% compared to games without her, while road games featuring her Indiana Fever see an 87% increase in opponent home attendance. Her rookie debut sparked a staggering 200% jump in WNBA viewership, while Fever home games drew a league-high 186,000 fans last season, a 265% increase from 2023.
Will she come out stronger and more dedicated the next time a trophy is on the line? In the end, real champions show up. They sweat, they hustle, they sacrifice, and they stand beside their teammates when it matters most. If Angel Reese wants to be recognized in the same breath as the truly elite, like Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, and others who have proven themselves, she's gonna have to let her game do the talking, because while social media praise can vanish overnight, the memory of who actually fought for the win remains forever, and that's where we stand. A championship overshadowed by an absence, a young star with a lot of promise, and a fan base looking for someone who walks the walk. Whether Angel Reese can reclaim her credibility is up to her. One thing is certain, we'll be watching closely the next time the stakes are high, waiting to see if she's on the court with the ball in her hands, or FaceTiming from miles away.